Not only does disease impact the well-being of an individual, it burdens family and public resources, weakens societies, and squanders potential of a nation. Affordability of health, ability to pay for the treatment, and high cost of medicines and diagnostic service push many people in the cycle of debt and poverty. Health and well-being of people therefore lies at the heart in the growth and development of a nation. And that's why today we'll discuss and understand how media can play a fundamental role in promoting healthy conditions, influencing behaviors, and promoting socio-economic growth. Before moving further, let's take a pause here and define the term health. Traditionally, health was defined as absence of disease, but now perspective of health is shifting. WHO now defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. It also conceptualizes health as a basic human right, and it is one of the major goals of the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030, the goal of health for all. Have you ever wondered why the most vulnerable and marginalized sections of the society are more prone to infectious diseases? Why well-heeled sections are observed to have stress-related mental disorders? Because it depends on socio-economic conditions. Why states like Bihar and UP struggle to have good healthcare system? Because it depends on policies and political scenarios too. Why people in Delhi are more prone to develop respiratory problem? Because it depends on environmental settings also. After all these questions, you must have concluded now that to ensure good public health, it requires multi-dimensional efforts. Mere availability of healthcare centers and medicines are not going to help much. To achieve this sustainable development goal, the state has to take care of many things, which includes removing poverty, adequate nutrition, education, clean water, sanitation, providing decent work and employment, healthcare, and natural environment, etc. And the things which are pulling us back are environmental degradation, destruction of natural habitat, contamination of water sources, degradation of land, overuse of pesticides, and large-scale polluting industries. This goal aims to reduce global maternal mortality ratio, reduce neonatal mortality, that is, end preventable deaths of newborns, end the epidemic of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and combat hepatitis, waterborne disease, and other communicable diseases. People having sedentary lifestyle, consuming highly saturated diet, have work-related stress, are more prone to develop diseases like cancer, diabetes, and mental illness. So, the situation is critical, and large-scale interventions are required for disease control with active coordination between all health agencies, government, NGOs, and of course media too. Health of people in a country depends on the way people behave and tackle their health issues at individual level. So the purpose of health communication practice is the effective dissemination of health information to influence people and their decisions. It can change the quality and quantity of access to healthcare and programs and can result in reduction of the debilitating effects of ill health conditions. For many decades, delivering a top-down level flow of health information was predominantly understood as health communication. However, this assumption is changing, and it is being concluded that individual behavior alone cannot solve public health problems. Initiatives require an organized effort, active communication, and strategies. Health status of the people can serve as litmus test to check the potential of socio-economic progress of a country. No country can develop if its people are subjected to ill health. Media is called a change agent that has power to influence people. So the role of the media needs to be recognized in raising awareness, mobilizing social groups, that is, how it can mobilize societal action, and in educating the public about health issues, particularly in areas such as smoking, condom usage, and HIV/AIDS. The more coverage a topic receives in the news, the more likely it is to be concern of the public. Media is highly preoccupied with political issues and try to overplay them while ignoring the issues which are of real merit and consequences. Reporting of H1N1 virus and dengue were initially given very little coverage by the press. after several deaths being reported made the press understand the importance of reporting with more scientific evidence rather than concentrating on number of deaths and creating a panic-like situation. Television has facilitated reaching out to many viewers simultaneously with pro-social messages, and it has ability to cross all barriers of class and education. Many programs were launched on television to promote family planning, prevention from communicable diseases, health of pregnant women, pulse polio program, and immunization program. The data shows that the families who were exposed to television were more likely to approve family planning than those who were not exposed. Reach of radio has reduced but in border areas. In disaster and in remote areas where radios are still popular, they can be used with great success as health communication tools. Radio has played a vital role till now, especially in combating myth and misconceptions about health issues. The internet has rapidly and radically transformed many aspects of society, including how information is accessed and shared. Easily availability of mobile phones and cost-friendly data plans have translated mobiles into hyperactive forums. Internet has potential to cross geographical barriers. It facilitates valuable health information and interactive health communication among consumers, patients, caregivers, or professionals. Although the benefits of interactive health communication applications are many, but there are three areas of concern: the quality of information, the digital divide, and the privacy of personal health information. Community media has potential for the disadvantaged section of the society to access information in easy and local language. Distribution of pamphlets and leaflets created by specialized health bodies can disseminate vital health information in an unbelievably simple way. So the choice of media, which should be based on target audience, certain technologies are not particularly useful when they are utilized only by a small number of people, or if they are too complicated to be operated by the average person. Strategies are required to deal with impeding factors because smart, timely, and relevant communication approach is not enough to achieve the participation of the people in a health program. People are resistant to such new ideas because of existing life patterns. We require formative research to analyze the culture and social practices which may inhibit acceptance of such health programs. Do you know why family planning programs in India during 70s and 80s, which employed a top-down approach, faced a lot of resistance while polio program was mostly successful? Because awareness and information by itself are not enough, especially if the environment does not support change and adoption of new practices. An individual is likely to accept a new practice and alter an old practice if the policy and legal framework, economic and socio-cultural factors all provide a conducive environment. Hence, social and behavior change communication attempts to create such environment. New practice should also have fiscal viability, then only it can easily germinate in the local culture to gain acceptability, triability and regular practice. Now let us try to understand the three important terms: health prevention, promotion and education. The two concepts health prevention and promotion are different but share a common goal: to improve health condition and status of the population. Health prevention can be defined by the historical term illness prevention, which aims at avoiding illness and diagnosable conditions through reducing or eliminating risk factors. Examples are breast cancer screening, anti-smoking campaigns, etc. Health promotion concept is deeply rooted in the socio-ecological concepts of the determinants of health, where the individual adopts health-related behavior and leads a lifestyle influenced by social, physical, cultural and environmental conditions. In India, the family planning program can be taken as example of it. Health education is any combination of learning experiences designed to help individuals and communities improve their health by increasing their knowledge or influencing their attitudes. Media advocacy is defined as the strategic use of mass media and its tools in combination with community organizing to advance healthy public policies. An example of media advocacy is HIV/AIDS. Since 1986, when the first case of AIDS was found in India, the media has been in the forefront of giving coverage and reporting on it extensively. Focusing on its causes and control, media coverage have contributed to improved public awareness and knowledge. Enter-educate programs in a group have an edge over purely technical loaded information. A prime example of this is the 30-minute TV weekly program Kalyani, which was launched in 2002. Since people can learn more through use of game activities and group interactions, it takes on a reality show format in which doctors visit rural areas to interact with people. It attempts to show how narratives make an activity more pleasurable, involving, engaging, believable, understandable, and coherent. People perceive a relationship with the character of the entertainment program and connect themselves, so it becomes easy to deliver important information to them. That's all for this unit. This unit attempts to explain how health has a symbiotic relationship with our lifestyle and with the socio-economic conditions, and how media as an organization can help make the situation better.